Soldier Field in Chicago. Set to kick off. It's week 5 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Throwing on first down. Hastings. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 30 before being taken down. A big pickup of 38.
I think that typically we expect teams to save their home run plays for later in the game when they feel like they have an advantage over a defense. But in this case, they thought they had the advantage right away and took the shot on the first play of the game and completed it successfully.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. The first carry now. This is Johnson. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. They'll run for the first time with Sony Michel. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They went with the run-pass option, and I don't know if the option really mattered there because the defense was ready.
So many times you put the defense at a disadvantage because you have those multiple options, but when they read their keys and play it correctly, sometimes the result goes in their favor.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. On the ground, this is Johnson. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 4th down, Hastings. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And the Bears are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. They opt to go for it, and they get it. 1st and goal after a pickup of 5. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bears take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
And they can talk all they want about putting a loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. But whatever they said appears to have worked. And he's got it to make it 7-0 in favor of the Bears. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it was finished off with a 10-yard touchdown scamper. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This taken in about 4 yards deep. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
On first down, Wilson. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, you know, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, you know, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up. Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
On third down, Wilson. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive.
The Bears take over first and 10. At their own 19-yard line.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why?
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Well, this will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
To throw on second down. Hastings. He'll rifle this one. And got his man complete. And some room to work. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. 78 yards. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And the next-gen stats are going to tell the story, and wow, what a story it is. Nearly a full 23 miles an hour. One of the fastest plays on record, folks. Now the try here for the extra point. And it's it's good to make it 14-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will make it into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They've been outplayed early, no question, down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The numbers a week ago for Cook. 16 carries, 59 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. And the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up 2nd down.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Give to Cook out of the gun. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the 1st down.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Steps away to his left. He'll run it. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
22-yard line.
So not quite a 1st down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the shotgun, Wilson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Pick up on the play. And it's 3rd down.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Now we've got movement up front, and I think this is going to be on Minnesota. And that'll set them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Cook following the penalty. And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Brings up 4th down. Solid coverage by the Bears D. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
It's like you're going negative on that,
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
So here are the Bears to take over on offense. They were losers to the Packers a week ago, but they've got the lead right now here as they come up on a 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Johnson. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. Hastings. And this one's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
To throw on 3rd down. Hastings, nowhere to go. Here, he lost the football.
Come on, let's go.
Offensively, lucky. Keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Dalvin Cook taking the field for the Vikings' next possession. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets him a 3 and out. 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
Now Wilson on first down. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. And his throw is incomplete. He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there. And it's 3rd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed. But all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, Hastings. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Here's Johnson. And some room to roam now. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Trying to pound it in here with Michel. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
It's a gain of a yard. Brings up.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Hastings. Looking in end zone, but it's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
This will be caught at about the 6. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And this carries into the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Vikings now heading onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. What a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
This is going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop, a man down on the return. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. On first down, Hastings. Over the middle to Smith. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That's good for 28 yards.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Hastings. Got his man. It's caught for Chicago. Touchdown. Sonny Michel. His 5th touchdown now on the year as the Bears push further out in front.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there. Unable to do so, that makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns and 21 points. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now this will make it into the end zone, and no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Well, throw on first down with Wilson. And he finds a man on a crossing route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. That'll be complete to Cook. Fighting through, and he's got space. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again, Wilson. This one brought in by Jefferson. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is picked up by the Bears. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Recovered by the Bears.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. A final shot before break. Hastings. And incomplete. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October.
You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. This will make it into the end zone, and the half will begin with a touchback. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. That catch good for only a couple.
It's 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now Wilson. Now they go screen. It's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Wilson. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a 1st down.
There's absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
To throw is Wilson on 1st and 10. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, you know this is going to be discussed because this is the fear of all the backs when they run this type of a route. They've got to find the football, and sometimes they don't see the defender. And in this case, he took a pretty good shot for his efforts, but give him credit, able to hold on to the football.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Complete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
At their own 14-yard line.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the 2nd half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. An opening there on that 1st down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
On 1st and 10, Hastings over the middle, complete. That's Horton. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 35-yard line.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run out of the gun with Michel. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards there, first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Keeping it on the ground on first, Michel. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Operating from the gun, Hastings firing quickly here, and that's complete. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 11 yards there, first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. From the gun, Hastings. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 18.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great. And they're fun. They've become a little more ho-hum, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Operating from the gun, Hastings. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears will extend their lead. And on this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And, Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running, because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
And that'll increase their lead to 28. A 10-play drive that time. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists in their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Cook. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. He'll take this from the 40 up to the 45 for a gain of 5. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. From the gun, Wilson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Patrick Queen in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Carl Joseph. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On fourth down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, fourth down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
And it's Michel once again. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a first down carry. It's Michel. Pick up for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. It seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
On 2nd down now. It's long. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll run on first down. Michel. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Get it! Get it!
Able to fall on it, but look where they recovered it. That's a big loss.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long.
Check, 59.
Off play action. Hastings. The open man is Smith. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And we do talk a lot about how the tight end position has changed in the NFL. Here's a great example. It used to be that they were linemen who occasionally caught passes. Now they're wide receivers who occasionally block people. And right here, this isn't tight end speed. It's definitely wide receiver speed.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, not bad. He was pushing 20 miles an hour. On first down, Michel, and only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Hastings. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
Oh, I came to my feet on that one. I thought he was getting close to breaking that one big, but in the end, give some credit to the defense, finding a way to get to him and forcing a 3rd down.
The Bears on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. So the Bears with a football here as we welcome you back. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They stay on the ground. This time it's Michel. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
On any running play that's called, they're... Always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On 2nd down, Alston. And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the 1st as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Mike, check. 59. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Michel. And he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal.
Mike Spark 9. Hey, let's get that ball here.
And they will run it with Michel. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Bears, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1, and they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss, and they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.